Our that's right, 7 local school districts are a never-stopping machine of education, business, and community outreach. And your involvement makes it easier to improve programs for your kids' day-to-day school experience and, of course, for the future of our school districts. In West Bloomfield, your involvement is sought out by Superintendent Dr. Dania Bazzi at her Donuts with Dania events. She joins us now with all the details on these conversations with you and others in the community. Dr. Bazzi, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Good morning to you.
Yeah, glad to have you on to talk about this. This is an ongoing effort. It's nothing new in your office or from the West Bloomfield School District, but it's an important one for you. Why do you find it important to be able to have routine connections with families out in the community and open a dialogue like this?
I think it's really important for, access and connection. It's a comfortable space for dialogue to have. Basically, it allows us to share some district initiatives and some important things on the horizon, but also provides a space for parents and families to come in and connect with district leaders and just ask kind of any questions they might have. Sometimes they're very specific, sometimes they're random, but allowing for that space to allow the community to connect with us kind of in an informal setting ensures that the lines of communication are always open.
And there's always something happening in our local school districts. They're always moving, living, breathing machines. And so it can be tough for even people that work on it every single day to kind of keep up with all that action, let alone parents who are so focused day to day on their kids and their families. How does something like this help to bridge some of those gaps and clear up the communication?
Well, that's a great question because during the time we're going to really hit on a broad amount of district initiatives, student programming, facility updates that are happening across the districts. Again, the goal is for us to provide a very succinct, quick update so that people are in the know of things that come along. Obviously, parents and families get a lot of newsletters that come home from their teachers, from their buildings, from the district. So this just lets us to have, to schedule time that's in person that allows us to really share some broader, bigger updates of our strategic plan and make sure that our community is aware of those opportunities that are coming for their students and initiatives that are coming up as well.
And you can have these conversations with families all the time. Any organization can, especially a public government organization like our schools, but it's one thing to have those conversations and have them just be a community service. It's another thing to take that into action and move some of those details, some of those requests into a form that will help maybe an individual school or the school district at large. So Dr. Bazzi, when you have these conversations with parents and other stakeholders in the community, how does the school district then take those conversations and translate them into tangible action?
So, there are certainly topics that come up and we follow up on each of those with families. It might be a curricular related question that I'm able to give an answer, but it might require a more in-depth response. And then that's when we'll follow up with our Assistant Superintendent of Learning Services, Scott Long. And then he then follows up with people who made it a point to come out to ask those types of questions. So if there's anything that needs deeper review or deeper thought to provide those connections, our staff is wonderful at taking the notes from those types of evenings, sharing it with the appropriate department heads or building leaders, and then provide follow-up on those. Sometimes it gives us a little bit of insight. For example, snow days is always a topic that is important to the community. And I remember at the start of our time, we'd send an email and you'd get a phone call. And then from these types of meetings, parents said, if you could send a quick text along with that phone call, that would immediately come to our cellular device and it would just be more immediate. Sometimes the call is missed or they don't see the email in time. So that's the type of feedback that we get that helps us improve our communications, improve our connections with the community. And so we're always looking those opportunities. It's not a one and done. We don't have these sessions and then not follow up. That is important to us. If people are going to if the community is going to take time to come and connect with us, we're going to make sure that we follow up with them.
Dr. Dania Bazzi is with us on the Splash Live today. Superintendent of the West Bloomfield School District. Donuts with Dania, regular conversations with the superintendent all throughout the school year. More information on those can be found on wbsd.org and on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools. Got one coming up this week, 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday at the West Bloomfield Administration Building, or ACS, located on Commerce Road, 6:30 p.m. The next one will be a morning edition, May 14th at 9:30 a.m. Dr. Bazzi, these are important conversations to have with families in the community, and it's also a good time to give some specific parents and community stakeholders updates on some of the most recent developments in the West Bloomfield School District. What will be some of those topics that will be covered this week?
You know, we're going to really stress kind of the high school and kind of all of the opportunities that come out of West Bloomfield High School, all of the different paths that students can take as they go through their high school experience. It's going to talk about the fact that we have 50 clubs, 38 varsity sports, that we have career pathways that take you down a medical field, down the business field, down the engineering and technology field. So kind of those different pathways that exist at West Bloomfield High School, and the amazing things that are happening and the amazing opportunities that we believe makes our high school really a unique experience. There's not one particular thing that makes the experience at West Bloomfield High School superb. It's the fact that we really are working to meet the individual needs of each student and kind of create a systems of schools rather than just, one school system that's one size fits all. So that's going to be a big part of it. Another big part of it, obviously, is going to be some of our facility improvements that you're going to see. People have been able to see the new Chico take form. There's also going to be the new STEAM space and the career and technical education space at West Bloomfield High School that will commence this summer. So those are kind of two of the big picture things that we want to share. Again, what we're trying to show the community is that there's amazing, from the academics to the arts to the extracurriculars. Our student Lakers have really an incredible, rich educational experience.
Tuesday, February 17th, 6:30 p.m. at the ACS building, the West Bloomfield School District's Administration Building, the second of three Donuts with Dania conversations with the superintendent for the 2025-2026 academic year in West Bloomfield. Dr. Bazzi, this one's great. It's in the evening. It's after most people's regular work hours. The other two for the school year happen to be in the morning, but that's not the only opportunity that parents will have or that stakeholders will have to communicate with the school district. What are some additional ways that you keep your office door open and the communication window open for parents across the school district if they want to learn more about what's going on in their kids' schools or across the district, or have other questions and concerns for your office throughout the school year?
My door is always open for those types of conversation, whether they be one-on-one or in small group. But I think the way that we keep those lines of communication open is being present in the community. I see the community and our families at events from the elementary level to the middle school level to the high school level. I think being present in the community is really important. So that families are comfortable coming up to you and having those discussions. That's something that, I invest a lot of time in being present within the West Bloomfield School District community. And I found that families find it with ease to call me. Most people have access to my cell phone, email me, and reach out when they have those types of questions. So while these experiences exist, these are not in isolation. The community knows that my door is always open to them. Ultimately, we're partners in creating a school district that is kind of the ethos of the district and the heart of the community. And myself as well as all of our staff are committed to doing that.
Look, people are always going to have their positives, their negatives, their evaluations all across the board, but it's important for an organization like yours to keep the doors open, to keep those communications going back and forth with the people of the community, because as you and your team say all the time, education, most of it doesn't happen in the classroom. It happens at home. It happens between the community. So how does that factor into why, even in addition to all that you've already mentioned, why this is such an important activity for your office?
You know, I think you said it right. There's no system is perfect, right? But we don't want, perfection to get in the way of excellence. I think as long as everyone is working in a way that is trying to figure out solutions to problems that exist within today's educational system or challenges that our students are facing, if we attack those problems as partners and not adversaries, I think that we'll be much more successful. I always equate kind of your school family to your own personal family. There's, in your own personal lives, there's dynamics with your mother, father, siblings, family, friends, and you work through those challenges as a family. And I see the school system the same way. We always want our students, families, and community to feel like they can come to us and express how they feel, whether it be positive or negative. And then to have a solutions-oriented mindset, because ultimately we're educating people's most important thing, their children. And so doing that together is very important. We want them to be successful when they leave our walls, and it's really important that we walk forward as partners in doing that.
It's all about the kids. It's what it's all about. Dr. Bazzi, thank you so much for joining us today and previewing this conversation.
Thank you for having me.